From Las Vegas, Nevada and Indianapolis, Indiana, welcome to Out of the Box with John and Tony. Now here's the host of the show, Tony Scott. Man, what was that loud boom? Oh, that was the intro. Hey guys, welcome to another Monday. Let's see, what is today's date? You know, I can never get the date unless I have a calendar, but I do believe it's Monday the 7th. And you're watching Out of the Box today. I'm Tony Scott, your host, for one thing. Today we got a good topic today, guys. We're talking about the future of transportation. Interesting, very, very interesting. Where is transportation going to take us? I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, 50, 100, maybe 500. I don't know. John and I are going to talk about that today. And speaking of John, he's joining us Skype, well, actually live via Skype from Indianapolis, Indiana. John, my good friend, how you doing, bud?
Hey, doing great out here in Indy, man. Just like but as usual, it's a good day out here. Future transportation, great subject, man. I tell you what, we're going to be flying around like the freaking Jetsons, right? Forecast real quick, and then we'll get this show rolling, people. Indianapolis, 70 degrees and sunny. Yay. Finally, the sun. It was actually 80 degrees over the weekend, so catching up with Las Vegas. But yeah, future transportation, Tone, and I'll take it back out to you in Vegas.
I think Rod just checked we may not be streaming live here. Hang on, folks. We're going to double check. Click that box. Yeah, it says we're offline.
Trying to get.
Hang on 1 second. We may have to do a double check of this. That stream key may be wrong. Hang on 1 second.
Sure.
Hang on, John, 1 second. Because it's not live, actually. So.
Okay. We'll be 2 minutes behind, 3 minutes. That's all right. We'll start it over again.
Screw that whole thing up. Try to get off that window. All right, folks. Due the slight technical difficulties.
We starting over.
Slight technical difficulties. Gotta love that. We weren't sure if we were live at all, but I think there's this lag time between when you start the stream and it actually pops up. So we hope we got everything going, and I'm not going to repeat myself. John's not going to repeat himself, so we're just going crazy. Yeah,
so we are live. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, just I just want our engineer just to briefly go back over there and highlight the future transportation. Also, will Uber hit the skies? And we just hope this stream is going out live. So anyway. Yeah. Oh my God, Uber hitting the skies. That's kind of funny. Here in Las Vegas, where I'm at, is taxis. There's like 1 million of them, and then Uber comes in, kind of invades the taxi authority, and they kind of have a squabble about it because everybody at the airport now is calling for an Uber. So now Uber has teamed up with Bell. Bell did a 2017 CES Expo on their ability to have a passenger drone taxi-like vehicle. And that was out in late 2017. I haven't seen it. I've saw the CES model of it. I haven't seen it fly because I don't know. It was encased, a nice little encasement, but I don't know where the rotors were or anything like that. So not sure if they pop out somewhere. But Uber's teamed up with Bell to make Uber have the ability to hit the skies, which would actually save travel time by 1 to 2 hours, because it's only going to take you a couple minutes to get from a skyport, say a few miles from the airport, at the the hotel that you'd be staying at, and have that be able to travel from the airport skyport to the hotel skyport to the airport, which is pretty ingenious. I kind of I like that. Like Uber to see. I like to see Uber do that. As a matter of fact, I like to see even the mode of transportation, from if we're gonna get rid of gasoline powered vehicles and go for a more clean energy, I think that in turn saves the planet. You're going to see less smog. You see pictures of LA and their smog. Even here in Vegas, I live about 30 miles from the airport, and there are certain days where you can see layers of just this brown stuff hanging in the air. So if we went all green, or not really all green, but for a cleaner transportation, it definitely would save the air. It would save the air quality for sure. Electric cars. Electric cars is another one. Electric cars have been out since the late 1800s, until Henry Ford, introduced the petrol car. Now, there's a good show on. It's called Revenge of the Electric Car. Get on YouTube and search that out. That's good. Has Danny DeVito in it, and there was a car that was actually made. A handful. There wasn't a lot, because Tesla's involved in making this electric car, but it costs so much. They're spending so much money, millions and millions of dollars, into getting the car made and trying to get it into the public eye for people to buy, is cost them a lot of money. It costs them more money to make the car than what they can actually sell the car for, because you ain't gonna buy a $50 million car. It's unheard of. So not real sure. Tesla went broke. They filed bankruptcy. They got a loan, a $90 million loan from the Department of Energy, on a stipulation that they redo their business model. So they're going to have to take all the employees. I don't know how many employees Tesla has, probably quite a few, but they want to downscale all them, and the Department of Energy would continue to go ahead and give them that $90 million loan to start over again. So they're going to have to make they're going to have to cut cost on making that vehicle. But to go electric, as I was saying, there was those cars that were made. Danny DeVito, amongst a handful of other people, had those cars. Those cars actually got recalled. And when they got recalled, they took the cars from the people that bought them and then took them out to the yard and flattened them. And that is on Revenge of the Electric Car. Wow. Interesting. Somebody made the call not to go forward with that car. Don't know if it's it is interesting. Don't know if it's a money thing or not. All I know is it would save you a boatload of money to go electric versus gas. Now there's some stipulations in that, as far as the ability to plug your car in and versus putting gas in it. Number one is there's only so many charge stations out there. I only know of one charge station that I've seen here in Nevada, is up in Beatty, behind one of the hotels up here in Beatty. Was a Tesla charging station, but that's only one. So when you go to charge your vehicle, the 24 kilowatt batteries is what they take. There is a 30 to 90 minute charge. Okay, so and there's only X amount of miles you can go on one of those single charges, which is probably up to about 130, 130 miles to a charge, versus I don't know how far you can go on a gas. Depends on what type of car you have.
Yeah.
But there's not, I feel that the electric car, to get that into production, you're going to have to do several things. Number one is you would have to get not only Tesla on the ball, and being that the cars, there's roughly 253 million cars on the road every day. Now we need to take, how are we gonna move this electric car into mass production with just Tesla? And you're not gonna do it with just Tesla. Now,
No.
what I feel that you should be able to do is there's the big three. Okay, there's Ford, there's GM, and there's Chrysler. Now, what I see happening in the future, as far as getting electric cars into production, mass production, is to get those three companies to merge into one company and make an affordable car, and get Tesla involved in it, and making a decent and affordable car, and getting a lot of stations. Chargeable stations, not only your house, you have to get all your gas stations, and there's trillions of gas stations in the United States, is mold them over to electric, so you're able to charge your car multiple stops, and not worry about charging. That's why they have the hybrid cars. Is not only they're electric, they also add fuel, because you just, what if you're going down the I-40 and you run out of electricity, and that's it. You're done. You just pull over until you can get somebody to come charge your car. So that's why they have the gas in there, so you can go even further. But I see the electric car coming out in the future, in the next 10, 15 years. You're going to see them come out into production a lot stronger than your gas powered vehicles. And the only way to go clean, and I've said this before, not on camera, but you're going to have to get rid of all the cars. You're not going to be able to drive your Mustangs, all your old cars, all your old replicas of the 19, people have 57 Thunderbird, 57 Chevys, 69 Camaros, 65 Mustang convertibles. If there is no more gas, well, you don't drive that car. So I see the future in electric cars becoming a big conglomerate, huge, as far as taking the competition and taking it down to a level where there's basically no competition, because you wouldn't really need competition. You need to get the cars out there, mass produce them, get the three car companies together, and get them out there into one big company and start producing these cars. As far as
it's funny. It's funny you say that. The taking the big three and putting them together. That's very possible, and I'll tell you why. Because it seems like that's what the corporations are doing today. Is they're all merging, or they're buying out. One company will buy out the other two or whatever, and create one car company.
Right.
But you were talking about the classic cars. Probably what we're going to have to do with the classic cars, I'm kind of kidding here a little bit, is we just have to take the gas motor out and convert it to electric motor, and you can drive the Mustang with the electric engine.
Right. I mean, you could actually do that. You could convert the car over. I mean, I've seen conversions where they're actually in the wheel hub.
Yeah.
And you just change out the tires, and then it's electric. So
and on that same thing, Tony, Harley Davidson's already made an electric motorcycle. It's a hog,
right,
electric driven, and people were complaining about this. They said, man, we want to hear the rumble of the engine and everything. That's the reason why I buy a Harley, right? I want to hear that thunder.
Right.
And so they artificially made thunder sound, exhaust, which I don't know if that's going to fly or not, but Harley Davidson's already doing it. I mean, I'm kind of with you. I think that the cars in the immediate future are all going to be pretty much electric or hybrid. I mean, or whole or full electric, rather, really, to be honest with you.
Right. You know,
Just because of the pollution, aspect of it. And the question is like, will the government allow that, or whether not only the government, not really the government, but these big corporations that have their sole existence on fossil fuel, are they going to allow that to happen? Or are they going to just put all their guns up to us, so to speak, said, no, we're going to keep burning fossil fuels, because this is where they're making their money. Saudi Arabia and all the other OPEC companies probably going to hate it, Exxon and them. Or are they simply going to change their technology over to clean and electric? Who knows? We'll see. Future will tell, right?
Yeah, the future will tell. I mean, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm all about the future. It's too bad that I'm not going to be here 1,000 years from now, but who knows where that's going to be? Where we're going to be at in 500 1,000 years from now? Who knows where we're going to be?
Teleport.
Yeah, I would say personal stargates. That just to jump in and go wherever you want to go. I mean, that's who knows. We could get into that realm, but what do we do today to save time? And like I was saying, is Uber really going to take to the skies? I mean, they have a World Expo in 2020, folks. Uber's going to present their car to at the World Expo in Dubai in 2020. So who knows? I mean, how many Uber drivers are really out there versus taxis? Can we swap them out? The taxi people are going to go, well, I don't have a job anymore. Well, not necessarily. I mean, don't be down on your luck. I mean, just because we're wiping out gas and wiping out your taxi, we're going to go to the skies instead of say, okay, how much does it cost to get from the airport to say the stratosphere? It could cost you anywhere between $25 to $35, and it could take you forever to get there in the traffic. But if you just take off in a port, like we'll call them a skyport, right?
Yeah, skyport, heliport type deal.
Zoom straight across you, and you're there in minutes. You're saving a lot of time. But can we afford, safety-wise, to take all the taxis, hypothetically saying, taking all the taxis that are in Vegas and flipping them to the skies? How is there going to be safety? What kind of safety measures are we not willing to take, but we have to change the safety measures in this, because you just can't have, if there's 253 million cars daily, well, if we all take to the skies, we're going to have 253 million people in the air.
Yeah. They're going to have to. They got to come up. I guess the Uber and NASA are going to work together too with the Helico Bell, and they're supposed to be. From what I heard, I don't know how true this is, but what I've read in articles, they said that they're getting NASA rather to work up a air traffic control, so to speak, for the Uber flying cars, which is basically the flying car looks like a huge drone. Basically, it's got 4 props. I saw pictures of it. 2 people get in. You got your basically almost like a pilot in the front, passenger in the back, and you're going to take off at the top of your apartment building and go wherever you're going, and then you land. So I think elevators are going to be they're doing skyscraper to skyscraper on these flying cars. They're going to have the heliport type stations,
right?
Landing pads, like big landing pads. So instead of like the parking garages, I think will be a thing of the past. They really won't have parking garages so much. Those will be converted to like big tops, like rooftops, like a heliport pad, basically. Big ones where you land in Ubers all day, taking off, landing, taking off there. And it's going to be, horizontal lift, more like a helicopter. It's not going to be a plane. And so I think that's where that's going. We may see that in our lifetime, actually, Tony. I think.
Yeah, I think
as far as like the cars go, I mean, people just, like I say, you'll go to that heliport station. You'll probably go there. You'll probably get there like through the means of a skywalk or something, especially if you live in the urban New York City, or a small train. You'll go to the urban station and catch the Uber and then go, or you'll just have the heliports on top of your buildings, and you know, just call your Uber and lands on your roof. You get in and go. You know, so
Yeah, that is.
it's
That
kind of
is,
wild to think that, but they got that technology today, man, where they can do that. They really do. Like you said, Dubai is like way up on the technology scale. They got probably the wealthiest country, if not the wealthiest country in the world, probably, and they'll have it before anybody else has it. If you ever been to Dubai, I haven't, but my son has. He shot videos. Dubai looks like a city out of Star Wars or Star Trek. It's already futuristic looking, you know. So they'll probably have it over there. But I was just going to add a couple more things about the electric car. I shot just on my cell phone some footage of a Volt, a Chevy Volt by GM, and Rod, I think you may have share a clip of that with folks real quick if you got that available. There you go.
Again, this is a Chevrolet Volt, a total electric car. And are we all going to be driving a vehicle similar to this?
There's the Chevy
all
Volt,
of this.
right?
Is this going to replace fuel-driven cars?
And basically, that car is a
Volt.
hybrid.
Anyway, it's not a
That's
bad-looking
the
car.
future is now.
Economically,
You see a little video clip
pretty
right there in the
good.
corner.
Pollution, virtually zero. Whatever it costs to, you know, basically just recharge the batteries. That's it. But anyway, look, future of the transportation. There's an example of it right here. The future is now, folks. Brought to you by Chevrolet Volt. Like I said, I'm not endorsing Chevrolet. They don't give me any money. But here you go. There's the Volt. And back to you guys at the studio.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's not bad.
So
at
there
all.
you have it. This is Chevy Volt. I apologize. I was going to take a ride in the car, but the owner of the car, he was out of town on business. So
Yeah, I would have liked to have.
We'll get that the next time. Tony and I are going to add like a little bit of live stuff once in a while to her, or actually video shots in the field rather of pertaining to our episodes.
We definitely got to get out there and.
Yeah, we'll get out there and add that. That's a little special thing we're adding to the show. But
right.
Yeah, I don't know if you got anything else. I was going to go. If you don't have anything, I was going to go to sea bubbles.
What is that?
Okay, I'll explain that real quick. Sea bubbles, I just found out today, are water taxis.
Oh, there you
They're
go.
already developing it over in Europe. You know, like over in Italy and stuff, where they travel by water a lot. So what these sea bubbles are, they're electric vehicle, like a small, I think they seat up to 6 people. It's electric driven, electric powered. It has like wings on the bottom, which act as floaters. So it's not like a conventional type of boat. It goes up to 20 miles an hour on the water, and you can get around on a river or a canal, whatever, from place to place. And they're going to make little ports, and that's your taxi. It's called Sea Bubbles. They're working on that, and that's an electric vehicle on the water. So the future transportation is going to be air, land, and water, or you can say sea. But it's going to change, like Tony was saying, it's going to change completely from what we got going on right now. Completely. And then we'll talk about electromagnet trains, which, you know, run on, you know, they basically float on magnets. You know, there's no friction. They travel fast. So I don't know if you got anything on the bullet trains, Tony.
Oh, well, you know, I was thinking when we talk about ground transportation, you know, even with 253 million cars, we have to get rid of a lot of those cars. So to make who's going to decide? Who's going to make a decision on? Even if you were able to fly, because there's a lot. There's the EHAG 184 that's out. You know, Bell's coming out with some stuff. China's making some stuff as far as, you know, droneable flying vehicles, passenger ones that you can fly yourself. So like I'm saying, when you talk about the 253 million cars, change that to 253 million drones. Well, you can't have that many drones in the air. So who's going to make that decision on who gets to buy what? Money? If you got the money, I'm buying one. 2, you have the license to fly it. So now you need the license to fly it. Where in the airwaves? Because if you fly VFR, you fly 500 feet and below. Anything above 500 feet, you better be calling somebody, or they're going to ground you. The FAA is certainly going to ground you. So there's going to be a discombobulation in the air with all those people in flyable cars. You know, not only that, we got to think about that. Not only that, is to get, what about the ground transportation? I mean, San Francisco has the rail system, which is the trolley system. It goes up and down San Francisco on the electric cable. All right, well, let's get that. Let's just get all the surface cars that in that realm, which you probably could. You know, if we take an out of the box thinking and say, okay, let's get the mode of transportation to cars that they're just driving down the road. They stop at various points, and you just get in and you go where that car goes. You could do something like that.
Yeah.
To get to wipe all the cars out. I mean, I'd love to go down to, you know, I don't go down to the strip much because it's just too much traffic, car traffic. There's tons and tons. Right. But what if there was 90% less vehicles down there, and all the vehicles that were in existence then or in the future were all electric, no noise, easy to get around. You can get in and out. You can get in and out of casinos. You don't have to worry. Valet parking's another. You don't valet park anymore. People are flying up here to the heliports from the airport, and everything's futuristic.
I think it's going to go. I think you're right. I think you're onto something. I think it's going to go to a lot of like an elaborate subway, like New York City. You know,
right.
Been out there. Subway systems are run on electric, and everybody uses it. That's the only way you can get around. I think it's going to be like that in all the urban areas. Like you said, casinos, they'll just have and it might not be like a long train, but I don't know, it's hard to say. But I think they're going to have trains like pull right up to the casino. You know, here we are, you know, we're at the Bellagio stop. Everybody Bellagio out to get out. The people getting in. Okay, next zip rail to the next casino, to the next. And then you want to go. I mean, I just think it's going to be public big time, and then the people that got money are going to be able to call the Ubers and the private people that fly them in the Uber aircraft car, right, as I call it, the flying car, because I don't think it's going to be able. This is just my thinking. Now, I don't know. I think it's going to be very expensive to be able to fly in a private, like call Uber now. It's reasonable, but when it turns to a flying car or a flying machine, I think it's going to be a lot more expensive. And then I don't think as many people are going to do that. So I think more people are going to go to public transportation, but they're going to have to redo the public transportation.
Exactly.
They're going to have to install new rail, which isn't rail, it's monorail. It's the electromagnetic cars. I mean, it's not the train like we were used to on rails with diesel fuel, because the fossil fuels will be gone, right? So it's going to be all monorail, electromagnetic monorail. And I think it's just going to be bigger versions and smaller versions of that. I think that's going to be the land thing. And like I said, but here's the interesting thing, and I'll let you touch on this because you work for airlines. What about like major air transportation, like the jet airliners today? Where do you think that's going to go when people want to travel far? How do you think they're going to travel?
I don't know. You know, airlines are always they're trying to make more fuel efficient aircraft. Elaborate type. Emirates has an elaborate aircraft that's huge, holds a lot of people. You got a bar in there, you got showers in there, you got beds. I mean, is that really? It's an elaborate way of traveling. I mean, what does the public want? Do they want the comfort, or do you want to get there instead of getting to New York City in say 4.5, 5 hours? Well, you only get there in 45 minutes. I think I don't know. There will come a day, I'm sure I'm not going to be around on this planet, where you'll see all the airlines cease to exist. Well, they'll move into different modes of transportation. One of the things that the humans should have done hundreds of years ago was dig a tunnel system everywhere. City to city tunnel system, and then high speed it underground. It'd only take you 45 minutes.
Like a bullet train underground.
They should have. You could make like us that underground is good, but where does Amtrak play in all this? Because the rail system only encompasses out of every mode of transportation, the rail system only encompasses about 10 to 15%. If even that, even less than that. I could see the rail system from Amtrak growing with more tracks, but not the conventional rail tracks that we have now. The ones that you were talking about, the magnetic.
All monorail, electromagnetic.
Sure, just get down to have your station, jump on that thing, grab, buy your ticket, jump on it. I want to go wherever. I want to go to Seattle from Vegas. Right there's 15 minutes. It's high speed. It just 15 minutes may be exaggerating, but you kind of get the gist of it.
Half hour, 45, man, zip.
Well, yeah, I mean that's fast mode of transportation. I mean,
I look for it. I mean, Japan has them already, and I think China does, and then over in
some
Europe,
European countries,
they got the underwater going underneath the English Channel. And they have water trains, and they got subways. Excuse me. They got subways in New York that go underwater now. Tunnels that go under. Because when I was traveling out there, they said, "Yeah, you're actually going underneath the river right now, or Manhattan, the bay or whatever, a body of water," which is kind of weird to think about that. But I mean, that's where everything is going, and I think it's weird because right now it's jets and fuel and jets and fuel. And I think like flying in the sky is going to be a rich man's thing, and I think that majority, as we cut back on fossil fuels, I'm not saying that there won't be any fossil fuel at all. They may have a little bit still left, but it's going to be for the people who got a lot of money that want to still fly in a plane. And better yet, I think that you build that mono rail system rather. I think everybody's going to be hopping on that. That could be a huge industry. Make a monorail from here. East Coast to West Coast, south, north, south, several main things, main routes rather, or tracks, 2 main rails going out there and back, and like load that thing up to a 100-car deal or whatever, where you can load like 3,000 people on it. And, you got 3,000 people going from the East Coast to the West Coast and vice versa, whatever. And they get there, and like you said, maybe, the same as a jet, maybe 2 hours across the country.
Right.
On a monorail train, I think that's where that may go. That's what I'm thinking. I
mean, you look at the drone traveling right now, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind owning my own drone. Traded my Ford F-150 for a Ford F whatever the case may be drone. But all it's going to take is one crash to crash the system. Because it will shut drone air travel down completely, regardless of what entity you're in. It's gonna shut it down. Because if you have taxi drones, Uber gets up in the air and they're doing it right. They're having a ball. It's fast. It doesn't take you too long to get from McCarran to whatever hotel you're going to. Right, boom. If there is a crash, that just crashed that system. It's gone. So they got to take all those companies, anybody involved in that, private sectors, got to look at the safety first. You got to get, you're moving from ground transportation to air transportation, which there already is air transportation. You're just taking the global air transportation system and scaling it down to city transportation. Now your safety factor is huge. It's very, very safe to fly. The skies are
across
huge.
The country,
right? The skies are just huge. But the skies are not so huge when you scale it down to just Las Vegas, Indianapolis, maybe Seattle. How about New York City? How are you going to fly drones in New York City when the congestion of the buildings are so congested? It's almost like, okay, let's see, we got to take this building and modernize it to fit that air travel. So if
they're going to have such a hell of an elaborate system, it's not even funny.
Well, if you take off, you got to be able to land at that altitude. So what you're going to have is sky garages. So you're flying at a certain altitude, and you fly right into the garage. land, drive into your parking space, and how you get out of that. Like I said, you guys, it's a system that'll probably happen maybe hundreds, thousands. I don't know how long. It will eventually take place. How it's going to take place is a completely different story. You got to have the mock-ups.
Yeah, you're exactly right, though, as far as they got a long ways, at least in this country.
Yeah.
We got a long ways to go to get there, really.
Exactly. It's going to take...
Like I said, Dubai will probably have it in 10 years, but it'll probably be 70 years before we have it.
Well, you know, China, I just read the other day, China is slated to cease all gas-powered vehicle travel next year.
Wow.
Hello.
That's incredible.
Hello.
Yeah.
Let China be the first. Let China be the first to do it. Take scouts if you're willing to take the job on. Take scouts, go over there and travel to China to find out how they're doing it. Just take some video and say, hey, check this out. It's awful quiet here in China. Man, this is kind of cool. And kind of model it after what China's doing.
Well, I'm sure you got a lot of investors, Uber being one, NASA, whoever. All these big companies are looking at that, probably already looking at that right now. Go see how China does it. The thing is, like you were saying, though, are we going to be able to get society to accept?
That's another.
No gas.
Right.
You know, like I'll just use the example real quick. I got an electric trimmer. It works pretty good. It's a Works trimmer, nice one. And I got a 2-cycle gas Roby gas trimmer. Love both of them. The electric one's a lot lighter, and it's a lot more maintenance free, easier to run. Has pretty good power, but not like the gas one, right? So, but cost wise, the electric Works is a lot less expensive to run and operate than my gas trimmer. So that's just an example of trimmers. And I think that it'll be the same thing with vehicles. As much as I love my classic car, and I want to show you this real quick. I got this magazine. I get Haggerty insurance for my classic car. I don't know if you folks could see that or not. But anyway, I opened it up today, and it says peaceful coexistence. It's talking about the electric self-driving cars along with the fuel-driven cars. I don't know if you guys can see that. But anyway, I opened up Haggerty magazine today, and boom, there you go. Article's in there right there. It says, we do not fear the future, it says, and neither should you. And it's talking about the electric cars coexisting with the fuel fired cars. And, you know, I'm a muscle car guy and stuff like that. And I'm hoping I can just keep it long enough until I'm too old to drive the damn thing. But anyway, that's where I'm at with that. But anyway, I do think, though, for the environment's sake and for the future's sake of my grandchildren and their children and our generations going down the road, Tony, I just want to say I think we do need to get rid of all the fossil fuels as possible. We do need to stop polluting the air.
Yeah. And
as much as we can, because we got volcanoes in Hawaii that are going off right now that pollute the environment enough. Other than that, we don't need to add to it, you know.
Right, exactly.
So, I'm not one of these, you know, peace out green guys totally, but I do try to take care of the environment, and I think that's going to help with going with the electric. But you know, like you said, the key is, can we get electric cars? This is the immediate future because we got electric cars now, right? Can they get the engineering wise? Can we get them to where they can go 300 miles without having to refill the battery? You know, that's the key in the immediate future. Like I'm talking the next 5-6 years. Are they going to be able to do that? Or are they all going to be like the hybrid Volt, like you guys showed earlier that I videoed? Oh, that's just questions, you know.
I mean, the cost savings for the electric car is phenomenal. Average person maybe just go 15,000 miles on average. It'll cost you under $500 for electric car. It costs you about $2,500 for gas. You figure it out, folks. What do you want to spend? I mean, you're not going to drive. You're only going to drive. You're going to drive from point A. Okay, then you figure out how far you can drive on an electric charge. Figure that out, and somewhere between point A and 3/4 of the way down to point B, you're going to have to find a charge station. If you're all electric. If there is no charge station, well then, I guess you don't drive electric. So you got to get those. You got to get everybody, every gas station. I don't care what it is, from Chevron, BMP to AM/PM to
Shell,
7-Eleven to Shell to whatever, to Costco, to wherever you get your gas. They all have to have means of electric charge.
Yeah, you're right, Tony. They got to convert over. And I think it's going to happen.
You know,
I really do think it's going to happen. I do think it's
how many different models of cars are there in the world today? In the world of the future, you're going to have 2 or 3.
Yeah, and there's an interesting point too. Like with semi trucks, I guess they're going to make electric semi trucks. I guess they could. They
could.
They beef it up, bigger motors and whatnot, electric motors, whatever. I mean, we got the technology to drive that stuff.
How does that work? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pulling loads, and one thing is going to be a lot quieter because the Chevy Bolt that was on earlier.
Right.
I've actually ridden in that car, and I can describe it real quick. It's like when he's on the electric mode, you step on the gas and you don't hear anything.
I know.
That's it.
I wanted to hear that.
And you know what? The dang thing's pretty fast too. I mean, it's like there's no resistance. Right. It just goes, you know.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to hear that.
They're very quick. They're very quick, but yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Awesome.
Now, I don't know what else you got, but I'm thinking about maybe we ought to talk about a little bit about these self-driving cars. You got anything on that, Tom?
Oh yeah, that's interesting because we had the self-driving car test. It was a live test actually here in Vegas, and it got into a little car crash. So,
right.
So that's another thing. I mean, who's got these? Who has this? I don't know what car company it is right off the hand. It could be one of your foreign car companies have this self-driving car, and they put it to the test, and it seems to work pretty good. I mean, to a point. I mean, GPS has to be, and it is, folks. Usually, you get GPS plus or minus. Like any GPS is going to get you plus or minus 80 feet, whatever. Well, that's all BS. That's been BS since they've said that. GPS has to be 100% accurate in order to be in a self-driving car. Could it be off about an inch? I don't know. I'm pretty much saying GPS, you're here. GPS coordinates to this. Can you see this here? This blue cup is certain coordinates on a GPS. Yep, I got it. That's exact. So it would have to be exact. So when you get into the self-driving cars, you get in there and you fire the thing up. You don't hear a thing. It's just you just turn the key and it's on, right? And you just hit the keypad and find out where you want to go. It gives you. I want to go to Walmart. And it gives you a list of Walmarts. Pick one, hit the enter key, sit back, relax, and it just takes off on its own. But how do you drive that in the realm of everybody else who's out there driving? All the 253 million. Of course, that's worldwide, United States wide. How many cars are in Indianapolis in a given hour? Take it by the hour, or take it by the day, or the hour, or the half hour, or the 5 minutes, or whatever. You got to figure that out so you can get that self-driving car to maneuver in and out. So that's why I'm saying it's going to come time. It's going to come a day when there's going to be way less traffic on the road. And self-driving cars, I believe self-driving cars are. I'm for it. I'm for it. Get in, plug in. You got your favorites, right? Work. Boom. It just goes to work. Parks. You're there.
Yeah,
you're just kicking back in the back. You're kicking the back, and I don't know. There is no front or back seat. It's just a huge, whatever. It's just there.
Right.
It's big. It's just get in. There is no back seat. It's just a seat. Or
it's like you got a Uber with no person in it.
Yeah, you just kick
nobody drives.
Drinking your coffee, reading a newspaper, and then the computer voice comes over. We're here. Of course, I won't do the voice. That's coming.
Your computer voice will be Vicky, though, right?
That voice is coming a little bit later. In another episode, in another show we're going to do, that voice is going to be. We're just going to have fun. We're going to have a lot of fun on this after the midnight. The midnight show we're going to be doing. But yeah, you plug that information in, and It just takes off and goes. But you can't have as many vehicles that are on the road today when you go to do it.
Yeah, I think it'd be chaos and it'd be accidents everywhere, no matter
Well,
how.
yeah, there'll be all kinds
That's
of
just
accidents.
my opinion. The only disadvantage I see with that could be a disadvantage with the self-driving cars, besides having a bunch of cars and they're all slamming into each other. We got to keep the government out of it.
Right.
Got to keep the government out of because I've talked to good friends of mine that have studied these scenarios with the self-driving vehicles, right?
Right.
So if I want to go from Indianapolis to Louisville, Kentucky, say, I have to get a request from the government that I got to make out a request.
Right.
Department of Transportation, whoever, BMV or whoever it will be, but it'll be government operated. I got to put out a request and say, okay, I want to go to Louisville, Kentucky this weekend. Well, I got to wait for a permit and an okay to go. They have to clear me to go. And then they have to route it out for me to go. And that's a pain in that part of my language, ass, because I have to.
Right.
I can't just jump in my car and say, I want to go to Louisville today. I can't do that. If all the cars are self-driving, if they make you get all self-driving cars, which they're predicting that we won't even have electric. Well, it might be electric cars, but there'll be self-driving electric cars. That we will not. The bottom line is we will not have control of our own vehicle. The government is going to control our transportation, and that's another thing the government will have their hands in. That we're missing. We're going to have another freedom taken away. Tony can't just jump in his self-driving car and say, "Hey, I want to drive down to LA today." He's going to have to go through all the shenanigans to get there through the government, jump through the hoops and whatever, and then they finally say, "Okay, yeah, you got the okay. It's going to cost you $100 because it's our fee, government fee."
Right.
So I just hope the government stays out of it. But the government, Tony, and I know that's a touchy subject with you. If you want to elaborate, feel free.
No, even if you're going to get in, they can't say I want to go 1 mile down to the grocery mart and buy a soda pop. The government probably wouldn't say, yeah, you need to file a plan for that. I think the government's going to say anything driven over 100 miles requires you to input a flight plan or input a road plan or whatever kind of plan you're inputting. Right. It would require that. And then is that good? I don't know. I don't know how that works. They would know where every self-driving car is going and who's in it and going where. Yeah. So let's talk about Big Brother. I mean,
the eye in the sky. Yeah, Big Brother. Exactly.
They know where you're at.
I think it's another way to control us. You can't just jump in your vehicle and go.
Right.
Well, you gotta, do the self-driving car. I don't think I got a little ways to go before I'm a buyer of the self-driving car, but I may not have any choice. If the government forces us all to say, okay, this is the way it is. Now, a self-driving car would be great, of course, if you're blind or you're just so dang old you can't drive. You need to get somewhere. Yeah, self-driving car is beautiful.
Well, if you're blind, you can't see to put the program where you want to go.
Right,
I guess you can
be voice
recognition, voice activation, or whatever. Yeah, I guess you can do that. I mean, that's I don't see.
Yeah, I would just say, I want to go to St. Elmo's in Indy.
Right.
Okay, there you go, St. Elmo's. There's your plug.
Right, exactly.
They got good steak though. Good. Gosh, they get good. If anybody's ever in Indianapolis, go to St. Elmo's and get their cocktail sauce, man. Get that sauce for that shrimp, man. You think you like hot stuff?
I could actually go for like a piece of cow right now.
Oh man, yeah. I'm getting a steak tomorrow. I think. Yeah.
I just might.
Of course, we'll get all the vegetarians hate us by saying that.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing against vegetarians, but I still gotta have meat once in a while. My daughter's a vegetarian.
I think for this self-driving car, the electric, even self-driving car would be safety. I get it. The drone-powered stuff from Uber to all your, I want to own a personal drone. I want to fly from here to there. It's safety, folks. It's safety. I'd love to just go in the garage, pull out, and the next thing you know, the rotors come out. I'm taking
that'd
off
be neat.
I shoot
I'd
straight
be all
across.
about that.
And as long as you're below a certain altitude, you can do it. But when you get to the point B, where are you landing? Do you have permission to land there? I just can't go to the airport. Where am I going to land at the airport? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't. You got to have. They got to call them skyports. You're landing, and then you land on the skyport, and then you just kind of go down and park whatever. Instead of entering the garage in a gas-powered vehicle and going up the turnpike and and then parking in one of the levels, well, you fly to the top and you just park. You go the other way around.
Yeah,
I think
I think
cool.
Tony, that would be neat. I think that'd be cool. I'd much rather do the drone, the flying car, than the dang self-driving car on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, is everybody going to go? Okay, say Walmart's got the big, huge parking lot, right? Is everybody in the drones going to be like Top Gun at Walmart trying to find a parking space?
God,
could you see
how
that?
it is in cars?
Could you see what's going on out at Walmart, man? It's like
Yeah.
they're having freaking drone wars.
Tony, the thing is, you're right about the drones. When you're flying in the sky, there's no room for error, right?
No,
so there's no such thing as I just had a minor fender bender in the sky.
Right.
You're going up and you're falling out, you're dead.
Right. That was a close
call. Come on, really. The idea is cool, and like I said, I'd love to fly in a drone car, but like you said, yeah, that'd be something. And one key note I want to add while we're talking about this, like I said, real quickly, I think in the urban environment, it's all going to be like pretty much like it is now as far as subways and rail, and probably like a lot of people are going to be riding their bicycles. I think the technology is going to be better. In other words, I'm going to tell you the truth. They need to get rid of that whole subway system in New York. They need to upgrade it. I mean, it's trashy.
Oh, no doubt.
Offense
the subway system, for sure.
That subway system, it needs to be cleaned up. I mean, it's going to cost billions of dollars to do it, but we need to do it.
Yeah,
but
you got to keep in mind also, even let's see, how can I just say this? The leisure driver, right? So you get in your drone and you're just having a ball, runs out of battery because you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, there's gonna have to be some kind of major puzzle.
Hey, well, you guys are taking a look at this here. What I had on the table.
Shirts,
we got the out of the box promo shirts in. The alternative way of thinking, and then on the back, of course, is the website where you're going to be able to purchase these. Out of the box.vegas. I got a couple promo shirts. I didn't know which one I was going to go with, so one's a heavier Glidden type t-shirt, and the other one's a softer one, so I'm not sure which one to go with. Probably the heavier shirt, but you guys get over to out of the box.vegas here in the next few months. We got to get the finances together for the shirts, and
we'll have it all up there. Yeah.
We'll have it all ironed out, and pick up these shirts, man, and then wear them. They're good. We want you to be a part of the show, and pick up those shirts anyway. And out of the box.vegas. We're gonna have hats, mugs. Don't forget, we're gonna have coffee mugs. We're gonna have some decent coffee mugs with not the same logo. Out of the box is gonna be on there with John and Tony, and alternative way of thinking. I think I had on there. I'm not sure. I think it was just John and Tony with John and Tony. Yeah, I think we go with those.
With John and Tony. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have those for sale on the website. And don't forget, that's for you people out there. John is working on getting the audio podcast done, which is going to.
Yeah, we're going to have everything. Yeah, we're going to have everything on iTunes, everybody, so you can listen to it in your car. Because I've talked to some people say, "Hey, I'm a truck driver and I can't really watch your show. I'll crash the rig." Yeah. So it's going to be on iTunes. Yeah. So look for it on iTunes towards the end of the summer. We're going to have all that stuff. But yeah, I enjoy talking the garb every other Monday, and it's like I said, not really garb, but I mean the future transportation and the things we talk about. They are interesting subjects, and we just want you guys to think about it. Yeah. I mean, and we go through our everyday lives, just and I'm guilty of it as well, doing the same the same old routine, and things are changing as under us. And we're not seeing it. or we might see a little bit of it, but things are changing constantly, and we may not. And then before you know it, it's going to be here. And then we're going to say, "Whoops, what do we do? Oh, I can't drive this car anymore. I'm forced to drive the self-driving car." And all these crazy things we talk about is for you guys and gals to think about. And the world is ever changing, folks. So, we try to bring it to light and let you think about it. But, future transportation, one last thing I'd like to talk about. One last thing, because I know we're running out of time. We got 5 minutes left. They pointed out that emergency vehicles, especially like in the cities, they get caught up in traffic. They're trying to get to the firemen, especially skyscrapers. They're going to invent these fire trucks that actually have lifts on them. They'll have a lift on the truck that lifts the truck up like this, and skinny, and just they formed it to where it can drive in between rows of traffic and go over them. And you're just lifting up and zipping over around the traffic. And then they'll be able to have a platform with all the firefighting equipment, the firefighters, fly that platform to the skyscraper, rescue people, and put stuff out. So it'll be interesting to see if that really does come true. It probably will. And one last thing, in urban area, people that live out in the country, they'll probably still have to go with an Uber or something like that to get back and forth, because there won't be a lot of public transportation out there. But that's really all I got. The last 4 minutes of the show, but we got a few more minutes. So what do you got out there?
A couple more, yeah. Look for oh man, this is part of transportation. It's not really vehicle travel, but all digital road marking signs and an all digital street. There's a guy who made a road. I don't know how big it was. I did see it on YouTube, and it was controlled by a computer. It had all the markings of a road. It had the turn lanes. It had all kinds of stuff on it. It had all kinds of stuff. It was kind of cool looking. I'm thinking, go digital on the roads, and go digital on all your signs. No more lights. It's all lit up in digital. I can see that, see it going that way.
Oh yeah, and they're going to have to do something if people are flying their Uber cars. They're going to have some way of being able to get direction, which I think would probably be GPS. Same with aircraft. They'll just, like I said, you'll touch screen your location, you lift, you go, and it'll take you there. But it'd be nice to have some lights up in the sky. I don't know how they're going to manage all that.
I don't know. It's just.
But one thing's for sure: the future will be interesting. Won't it?
The world of air travel is planes, trains, and automobiles, folks. Where does Greyhound fit in all this? Well, exactly. Amtrak and Greyhound. I just get them all together and come up with an idea. You guys come up with an idea. It takes more than one person. Take a conglomerate facility of people, right, and another conglomerate facility of people, and mold them all together and come up with this idea and push it out to the public. You don't need
we started.
Only get so many people involved. You can only don't get everybody involved. There's certain people that you don't need involved in your affairs.
Right.
Just keep it at that.
Right. So, well, we started off real quick as walking is transportation, then to horses, then to gas-powered automobiles, to ships,
right,
and now planes, and now we got flying cars and
right,
self-driving cars, everything. So what's the next 100 to 500 years from now? We don't know. We can only speculate, but I know one thing's going to be a trip. But I'm out of here. What's our next show, Tony? I thought you would take this thing on.
Check out this next show. Man, next Monday, not next Monday, but the following Monday, our next episode is movie theaters and drive-ins. Wow. That's a treat. I'm going to go out to the nearest drive-in out here, the only drive-in we got left, and I'm going to shoot some video for you of what that drive-in actually looks like. And John and I are going to talk about where the movie theaters are going to go, because the online streaming seems to be pretty big, and it could be wiping out the movie theaters. Drive-ins, that's becoming a thing of the past. But we're going to talk about that in our next episode, and we hope you can join us. In the meantime, folks, you have a wonderful rest of the Monday, and we'll see you next Monday. For John Allen, I'm Tony Scott. Peace out.